Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here on this Friday morning. Had a good week here and got a good week coming up next week. But let's get started with our weather. Brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's a little warm now. We're looking at a high today, 91. It's been warm the last couple of days. But these nights are a little cooler. It's getting down into the 60s, so it could be 68 tonight. Our water temperature brought to us by my Rancho Copy Company, Miss Ariel Payne's company. We're looking at 83 degrees, and it's going to be cool. If you spend much time in there, I'll speak from personal experience. I got a little cold from it last week, and I'm getting over it, but it's been, that's exactly what it came from, just with cold water and just submerged in it for a little period of time. So just be careful when you're out there. River reading brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown 3.5. It's going to be low this weekend, and especially the Choctawhatchee Caryville 1.3, and both of them are still dropping some. So be careful out there. I mentioned this yesterday, taking the boat along. Don't go too fast, and be looking out for snags. And it's going to be interesting to see how low it gets. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tide today. Some good bay fishing going on right now, folks. We're looking at high tide was this morning at 126. It's going to be low after lunch at 151. And coming in this afternoon, you got a good dropping tide right now, and be coming on in later on in the afternoon. So some good time to get out. And let's do our fishing game times right now, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 3:33 to 5:33 this morning, and this afternoon 4:02 to 6:02. Marine forecast northeast at 5 to 10 sounds good, but if you're fishing for this weekend, especially Saturday, Sunday, Sunday's going to be northeast at 10 to 15, so it's going to be rough. I mean, it's a special weekend this weekend because you have all four species offshore, and we have a lot of folks going out, so this is going to be a little bumpy out there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I want to get started. First thing, first set I want to talk about would be this Tuesday night. I went down to Bay County Public Library. FWC had that sea trout management workshop, and it was very interesting. I love going to these things, especially when they're right here in our backyard. There were a total of 6 people there. And in fact, let's see, Matt Smith was there, Cody was there, Ryan Lemmox, Steve Rutherford, and Jessica Graham with the estuary program. And these other, Steve, like me, just fishes a lot, and the other guys are captains and spend a lot of time on the water. So only 6 of us. I was hoping we'd have more people there. But we had a regional biologist from Pensacola. She covered from Pensacola all the way down to here. And then also had a biologist, one of the head biologists in FWC marine biologist coming over from Jacksonville. And of course, then a couple other guys. I saw some of the old timers there. So we had many staff people there as participants. But with that being said, still good information, and still a lot of stuff can be found later, but I'd just like to hear it in person and ask questions. So here, I'm going to show you, I had a slideshow, and this is not going to be, I sort of copied it. I'm just going to sort of go through some of the highlights real quick. So this was interesting right here. The evolution of the regions, it started back in 96. Okay, look here. They only had like 3 regions for up in 2012, the northwest, the south, and the northeast. Then in 2012, they broke it down, and we're mainly concerned with our area, but our northwest area went from north of Tampa all the way to Pensacola. Okay, so that was interesting, and some of the guides, a lot of guys went to the state, they did this again, and they had it redone. Matt and Justin, and a lot of them had some big input on it, and they got together with right here, the boys from the Big Bend captains. Okay, you see right there where it splits up? We're in the western Panhandle, and then from Franklin County over is the Big Bend area, and that made a lot of difference because those guys wanted to, they make a living off of it, and they don't have any other attractions like Miracle Strip and all that, and they had a good mutual agreement, worked together, and came out with making it into 2 areas. Okay, so anyway, that was I got fascinated looking at all that. I'm sorry, let me see. So okay, so anyway. So here's the annual review. I won't go through all the details. Basically, just but they do have a good program going with it, and they got some feedback. Went over the spawning ratio, really good information. The fishing report landings, okay, all that in here. And then over here, there was just the, talked about the habitat, the seagrass and all. They're on top of that. And they feel pretty good about our seagrass right now. It's going down in some areas, but they feel pretty good about it. And this chart is one of my favorites. It talks about the relative abundance of it, and it goes way back. I can't give you the key takeaways. Okay, 98. See, the bottom line right there, from 98 all the way to 2024. I had a question I asked them in 2010. Look where the population just boom, the trout over 8 inches. That was really cool stuff. Then the top three, it did Choctawhatchee Bay, including Santa Rosa Sound, Apalachicola Bay, and San Andrew Bay, but they're all relatively close to each other. So good. That was some good information there. And then, well, okay, let me get right here. Takeaway. That bottom line right there. First of all, it's stable in Apalachicola Bay and San Andrew Bay. And the bottom line, the adult abundance is relatively stable. So it's not going up, it's not really going down. So that's all the research. That's important right there. Mainly causes a lot of catch and release for the captains. You see the top line, the recreational folks like us, and you see sort of how sort of catch and release, and some release and you see some releases in the charter dotted line. Okay, but look at the commercial. They really in '98 they put a limit on it, so there's not much commercial effort going on in the commercial speckled trout. Some guys are still doing it for a living, but not many. And basically, what they wanted, the target rate is 35%, the management target rate, and they want to. One of the things they want to do to increase the post-release survival, no multiple hooks with natural bait. Of course, it's fine with the plug and all, and closed seasons for colder months. Excuse me. And the current regulations, and it goes on, and you pretty well know why that one fish over 19. The big debate now, some captains don't even want to keep one over 19. Some people do, so that'll be sort of be hashed out. And right here, that's what I just said. Prohibit one over the slot. And then the seasons, they're talking about a closure, but pretty well they're talking about they're going to keep it the same way. Close it in February here. And the next step, what's cool, they're going to 19. See all these stars? They just start up in Pensacola and work their way down. All these stars are going to be where they have these workshops. They're going to get a lot of good feedback statewide. And I appreciate them doing that. They're very commendable. They're fun to be around, good to talk to. They're outdoorsmen too, and they really, so they're going to get all that feedback. Then they're going to have another big statewide meeting and then formulate it and make a recommendation to the FWC Commission. But you see, they're doing their homework, and I appreciate that. And like I said, only 6 of us was there, but we talked about it. I listened to a lot of good suggestions, and I was going to video some of it, but I thought we'll just do it this way here. So that worked out. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I just thought it really cool to go to FWC workshop and know all the participants there. I really enjoyed that. I'll keep you posted on all of them in the area as we go along. Now let's move on. We've got all kind of other pictures. You know, I love looking at the old pictures, and especially when they find something really neat in Florida. And they found this old canoe, and I won't read this whole thing to you. Basically, found it around the storm surge in 2022 in Fort Myers. So they found a 9-foot canoe, and they're going to record it. They saved it. It was used by the Calusa Indians. Now, if you know anything about Florida history, the Calusa Indians were sort of the original ones. They were sort of ahead of the Seminole and Miccosukee because Seminoles came in later. So their canoes were different. So they knew right away. And here's some pictures of it right here. Is that not cool? So I mean, the Calusa tribe, they ate shellfish. They didn't hunt much. They just lived around the water, all around the water. Look at that now. Is that not cool how it's carved out? I've got a couple more pictures of it. They're looking at it. They're going to try to carbon date it for sure. I just, you know, they're excited. I got tickled. I said, I was thinking about that, the crack right there in the front left. They must have been got some of that fire water and ran into a tree or something. they broke it right there, but really and truly just ran that knot. Wow. Anyway, I just want to share that with you. They're real careful with it. The archaeologists in the state are going to do it. Okay, now here we go. Moving on to modern day. Terry Jaseski down there. He always watches the show and a lot of feedback. He watches Blue Water, I believe, on Sundays now. He's sort of, in rush time, he's fishing. Do you know of anyone who smokes mullet commercially for sale to the public? And I said, not that I know of. I'll ask on air. So if you know the one, touch base with me. I'll let Terry know. It used to be a big deal. Everybody selling smoked mullet, and I can't find it anymore. Okay, this is what we were talking about earlier about the oyster harvesting to resume in Apalachicola Bay, and the time is going to be from January, right there in the middle, January the 1st to February 28th, 2 full months. Okay, that's the guidelines for a limited season. And about 100 acres around Cat Point, East Hole, and Peanut Ridge. That's the old place. That's the old places there. Okay. Okay, Bill Roxby. About a year ago, I like this. He said about a year ago you did a segment on your show about mackerel fishing. I know nothing about it. Thought I would give it a try. I'm hooked on one of my best days fishing. I told my wife I was so excited I might have to rewrite my wheel. She was happy about the fish, not the wheel. And, so here is a good mess of, let me see, moving on, good mess of fish right there. They're fun to catch. And you cook them right, they're good eating fish. The Calusa ate a bunch of them. And here's all right here. See those fillets up there? Good job, Bill Roxby. I'm no bird expert, but I'm guessing 4 females and 1 male. Okay, Gail, I know you're not laughing, but it's funny. Okay, I've showed that one. Let's see. Jerry Forehand, a recent trip, last week's catch with Roy, Steve, and David. The fish bite was good, but sharks and dolphins ate over twice as many as we landed. We've been talking about that, so you stop and think now. You see all those fish on the table. Now, triple that, or double it, and that's how many the sharks got. It's incredible. All the fishermen going offshore like that, and we're going this weekend, and we're going to try to move around like we can. Here's a better picture of it right here. That's really good eating right there, but man, the sharks are really out of something. Okay, the governor's Second Amendment sales tax holiday goes all the way to December, so you see it's all kind of sporting goods, hunting supplies, fishing supplies, camping, and you can go look online and tax-free. All right. And this was the video I showed on the Eastern Shipbuilding. This is Ed Gagnay in Lynn Haven. My sister sent me a note and a Seattle Times article, which I received today. Eastern Shipbuilding's bid was $80 million lower than the lowest Washington State builder for the first boat. Okay, the first boat. Ironic that I received this today after your show today, and she sent an article. This is from Seattle, and they got the bid. All those Washington, all those Seattle boat builders, they were upset by what they were doing. They were sticking it to the state, and okay, so the road to the new ferries, it paid with $714 million to the Florida builder. I got to think about that. Just stop and think about it. They can build that boat down here. Good boat, well built. The labor's going to be paid well. Everybody's going to do good on it. And then they're going to be able to take it from here through the canal all the way out to Washington State, $80 million cheaper than they're going to do it right there in Seattle. So does that tell you something when it comes to government bids and all? I really appreciate that. A couple more real quick. How about the Panhandle surf fishing? This is over in Pensacola. Big pompanoes starting to show up in Pensacola. So this is last week, so this is a good sign. I thought that was the Panhandle surf fishing, but it's Pensacola catch. Walter out playing golf a couple of days ago, and down there in St. Joe, and he was looking for a ball, and his water moccasin came out. Look at that. Came out of those weeds right there. I told him, just don't hit the ball that way. Keep the ball in the fairway. You won't have that problem. Okay. All right, Captain Kim down to Carabel. sent this big, you're talking about a big one. I said, how big was it? So here it is right here, Captain Sweeney. I said, how big was it? He said, I don't know, they ate it. That is a huge red snapper. When a captain like that, on a big old boat like that, poses for a picture, and you know that is a huge red snapper right there. And I love this right here. Up there in Liberty County, Chris and Melissa Kincaid. Hey babe, let's go get matching 20 gauges for our 20-year anniversary. The wife's response, heck yeah. I love that. A happy 20th anniversary, Chris and Melissa Kincaid, and what a great present y'all got each other. That's memorable, and that is downright cool. Okay, one more time to see we got. I'm going to talk about this later about the National Hunting Fishing Day. It's going to be Saturday, September 27th. So we got to move on with the. Let's go and do our drawing, but we'll talk more about that National Hunting Fishing Day. What a great 20-year anniversary. 20 gauge. Bird season coming up. That's cool. Okay, here we go. Let's draw Gene's Oyster Bar, fried mullet plate. I get a lot of compliments when folks go over there and text me back and how much they enjoyed it. And they were out last week. They ran out because the folks went on Saturday. They'd already run out. They sold so much of it. And they got a plate. I forgot what they got, but it was good. The winner this week is going to be from Panama City, Steve Pitts. All right, Steve. Thanks for loving the wife over there, and y'all have a good time. All right, we're going to Tropic Dock Seafood at $20. I'll get it stirred up real good. And the winner is, also from Panama City, Janie Giles Jacobs. All right, Janie. $1 gift certificate and a big red snapper is going to be all the way from Sneed's, Marilou Scott. They'll come down and get a snapper and a big cookout there. All right, let's go ahead and take our break. We'll come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back, and welcome to our famous Friday fishing forecast, brought to us by Jessica Ling, Insurance and Financial there in Lynn Haven. We appreciate their sponsorship. I'll get our smiling Jessica on pretty soon, but she's staying busy. All right, looking at this weekend, the biggest thing about this weekend, mainly concentration on offshore, because you have all four, I mentioned this earlier, all four are open, all four big species, snapper, amberjack, grouper, and triggerfish. You can catch all of them this weekend, and the season just ironically have overlapped that way, so we had a 2-week period, and of course snapper closes Sunday, but it'll be open weekend, so we plan on going on the Seminole wind, and we're looking forward to it. But the big thing, speaking of wind, that's the first thing I wrote down. The wind has just been a factor. I've seen it, I've experienced it ourselves with our group, but I've also heard it from the folks that have been going out, and also the captains. A couple of them had to call off some trips, and when the captain calls off the trip, a lot of times it's relative to the customers on the boat. If some old timers like us, it really don't bother us, but some folks haven't been around a lot, and we don't want them all getting sick, and so that a couple of times it happened like that. So anyway, we'll just do the best we can. What I wrote down though has been good catches. I've seen a lot of amberjack brought in, a lot of nice amberjack brought in by these veteran boats. Been good. On nearshore, the kings have been steady, been good steady bites on the king. Nothing to write home about, but it's king mackerel being caught. Here we are, September, and September, October, excellent month for king mackerel. Going to the pier fishing, the Spanish being caught off the pier, and also, and when I say pier, I'm talking about Panama City Beach Pier and Navarre, and also we've got the Mexico Beach Pier going to get started pretty soon. It's going to be really good to start getting a report from there. So the kings and the pompano are also being caught for pier, not many, but some. Near shore, they're still catching mahi, and it's been real steady though. When they find something floating, they're catching some mahi. Okay, that's been good. Surf fishing, two big ones are whiting. And the reports on the pompano, although it showed you a big pompano for Pensacola, they're talking about now they're catching some small pompano right now. So it's been interesting to see, especially now the next 2 weeks or so, we'll start getting a trend on the pompano. Bait fishing, the snapper's been strong, and also the redfish. Mangrove snapper been really good. Bridges, the bull reds, and they're hooking up some sharks and everything. Freshwater, Choctaw River, it's been good. I was reading the crop has been really strong. Saw some really good catches. The Choctaw river page. They do a good job of getting steady reports there. Also, J.B. Hillard went with his buddy, and they caught 67 brim one day this week. Bass fishing been steady, and catfishing. Now listen, with that river being low like it is, they're really going to start concentrating in those holes. So it'll be good. It'll be a good weekend to go on the river. All right, just looking up. Let's go to St. Joe Bay right now because there's just really good fish here on St. Joe Bay. Let's see, Jeff, we got it right here on St. Joe Bay, right there. All right, the fishing, the people were not able to go scalloping. A bunch of them went fishing and had a good reports on the fishing all the way up here on the backside of the state park there. And I heard some good reports there, and some folks ventured out into here and had some good time coming out of the canal there. Had some good fishing, just in general. Going down toward the oyster bars behind St. Vincent Island, that's going to be really good red fishing. This time of year is excellent fishing in this area. Also, coming out of the pass here, I haven't shown this in about 2 months, but now at the West Pass, right there in that Pascagoula Bay, it's going to be some excellent fishing. Okay, if you get there with a boat. But Indian Pass will be the backup there if you want to do some shore fishing. So those two areas right there, of course the Big Bull Reds at Bob Sykes Cut. I haven't gotten much reports from the East Point Bridge, East Point Pier right there, but I know it's going to be good this time of year. And the upper waters of Apalachicola Bay, of course, will be strong too. And the big thing now, let's move on over here to to our bay. I say ours, Panama City folks on bay. It's just been really good and steady. West Bay has been steady. I talked to some of the captains Tuesday night. They just had steady catches all through here in this area right in the center of the screen. They're catching well. East Bay has been productive and done really well. Okay, right here. Okay, off the Spanish mackerel being caught right in this area, right in here. Okay. And real quick on Choctaw Bay, there've been really good, some really good reports on redfish, bull reds. The Destin Fishing Report had a lot of bull reds being caught on the outgoing tide right there at the Destin Bridge. So that fits in right there with Hathaway Bridge and the Apalachicola Bridge. When the tide's going out, they're going to be sitting there feeding. So always play the tides. We've run out of time. Thank you all for watching this week. We appreciate your viewership. You have a great weekend. Do something good for someone else. Enjoy the outdoors. Let's take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.